We all love a good antagonist, right? Wait, is that a contradiction? Oh, we're not supposed to? Anyway, remember Emerald from Steven Universe? Well, this is her now. Feel old yet? Hello everyone, my name is Sivana and welcome to my studio. In all seriousness, I am back with another gem video where I draw characters from a story that I'm writing that is loosely inspired by Steven Universe. You like magical gemstone humanoid aliens? Oh boy, do I have good news for you. Today we are going to talk about two gems, Emerald and Topaz, who look nothing like the ones in the show. And if you would like to read the written chapters before the comic comes out, consider checking out my Patreon using the link in the description. Now let's just get into the drawing. To start off, we have Elder Emerald, whose sketch I had nearly completed before I realized I wasn't recording. As you can see, she is very grumpy, and you would be too if you were this tiny and old, though I have no room to talk in the height department. When I made these characters, I only had a vague idea of what I wanted them to look like, but that requires a little bit of context. So Emerald is the elder of a tribe called BIOME. She, Topaz, and Cobalt were the ones to pick up Jade from Mother Tree's island and take her back to their village. The only idea I had for her when writing the first couple chapters is that she was small, even smaller than Jade, with traditional-looking robes and big hair. This was to show how drastically different gems can look, especially when paired with Cobalt and Topaz, who are towering, bodybuilder-looking women. I kind of wanted tiny grandma vibes, kind of like Nana Foi from the show, but way more of a bitch. Emerald is very traditional in the fact that she hates men like most every other woman on Xul'Das, so this makes her kind of an antagonist to Jade as she actively tries to go against what Jade wants to accomplish. The very first scene we get to see of her and Topaz, she is yelling at Koi to get away from Jade. She then insults him and all of the male gems by calling them rabid beasts, vile, and uncivilized. Where this beefcake of a lady Topaz comes in is to be one of Emerald's bodyguards and take Jade back by force if they have to. She is literally there to intimidate and fight off any men that happen to be there. Topaz is heavily inspired by Jasper, both visually and sort of personality-wise. She is rough and tough, has a bad attitude, but only towards men. When she's with her fellow women, she is more like Rose Quartz, very caring and loving and, like, the stark opposite of how I drew her. Topaz and Cobalt were chosen to accompany Emerald to retrieve Jade for a couple of reasons. Topaz is a gate guard of the village, and she hadn't been to retrieve a newborn before, so Emerald thought this was a good opportunity to show her what it's like. Cobalt came for a similar reason, but also to show a good faith between the women of Xul'Das and Buren. I talk about how newborn gems are chosen by tribes in my Zebra Jasper video, so instead of repeating myself, I'm going to make Victor edit in what I said before. While on the topic of tribes, I say chosen by the Beast tribe because when a new gem is going to be born, all of the elders of every tribe, male or female, are notified by some magical sign from Mother Tree. The elders then meet in a council and decide where the new gemling will go based on which tribe they believe the newborn is best suited for. The male and female tribes do not come together this way, so there is usually one of each that goes to the hatching to see which the newborn will be. Male gems also take in non-binary gems, since the women turn them away most of the time. So, for example, when Jade was about to hatch, all of the elders were notified that a Jade would be born. They then gathered up, and Emerald, the elder of a tribe called BIOME, was decided to adopt the new gem, essentially. However, on the other side, Elder Wood of a male tribe was chosen. The tribes then send out an envoy of sorts, if not the elders themselves, to go retrieve the newborn. So Elder Wood sent out Turquoise to retrieve the newborn if they were going to be male, and Emerald herself went to do the same but with some added guards. So when Jade popped out and Mother Tree was like, hey, how do you identify? And Jade was like, I don't know, man, I've been alive for 20 seconds. She did eventually decide that she identified more with Mother Tree as a woman. So when Elder Emerald came up and saw Jade being cozy with Turquoise, she freaked out and was like, absolutely not, and took Jade back to the tribe. So yeah, Emerald is going to be kind of a big deal. She basically wants to keep Jade sheltered away from the men, like everyone else is. Most women don't even talk about men because they never have any interaction. A majority of female gems have never even seen a male gem. Jade is a very special case because the very first other living being she met besides Xul'Das was a male, so she really does not understand the hatred for them, since they seem to be just the same as women aside from visual differences. This upsets Emerald very much, so she takes extra precautions to keep Jade in the village at all costs. Emerald is not a very nice lady, if you couldn't tell. She was once so excited to have Jade since Mother Tree gave her a sign that she would be special, but the Elder ends up getting really annoyed with Jade after a while. Jade wants to know more about the men and asks Emerald many questions to which she gives no answers. Then when Jade runs away and comes back, Emerald basically puts her under house arrest so she can't go off gallivanting with men again. After the first scene with Topaz, we don't really see her again for a while, until the medals show up and a bunch of tribes have to band together to figure out what to do. Topaz is also going to have a change of heart about men eventually, but I haven't really gotten that far. She'll probably fall in love with some twink or something because I think that sounds really funny. For Topaz's design, I also didn't have much to go off in the beginning other than big, yellow, kinda mean looking with short hair. So when designing her outfit, I really didn't have anything in mind other than like being some kind of like vague forest or coastal tribal clothing. As for their gem placements, Topaz obviously has hers on her navel, and I was going to put emeralds on the back of her hand, but I don't know, I didn't like it in the way that I had drawn it in the angle, so I'm still not sure where to put it. It's going to be hidden somewhere because I didn't draw it on her character. I just don't know where I want it to go yet. Like maybe it'll be like on her arm or on her chest or something, just covered up by robes, because like, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking kind of off script here. Maybe she thinks that showing off your gem is kind of like something that young gems do, and when you're older you should cover it up for like modesty or something. Or maybe that sounds silly. I don't know. I'm just kind of going off the dome right here because I don't have much else to talk about other than I'm coloring them. I did struggle with Emerald's hair for a long time because I've been trying to do different kinds of hair, different textures. Like, I don't want to just keep doing straight or just floofy. Like, I want it to be more exciting and have like different kinds of ethnic looking hair, whether it be African American or indigenous, stuff like that. I want a lot of differences. I basically want to bring in looks from like every single culture and just kind of put it into one. Different tribes will have like a different kind of subset of culture. The one that Jade is in is basically a melding pot of a bunch of different ones, so they don't really have a cohesive style. I don't think any of my gems really have a cohesive style for their clothing. It's kind of just whatever I feel like looks cool. And you know, that's okay. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just whatever they find around in the world, whatever they can make themselves and they think looks cool, then they'll wear it. So like with Tiger's Eye, she's wearing kind of like, I don't know, jungle attire. I don't even know what that means. But then Cat's Eye is wearing like short shorts and a sweater. I think the most cohesion I have with their outfits is the gems from Buren, once I actually get around to drawing more of them. Like, I have some drawn, they're just not finished, and therefore I don't have videos out about them, but a lot of their clothing is going to be very flowy, very elegant looking, because, you know, they're in water and they want to look pretty. Whereas on Volak, a lot of it is pretty tight, close to the skin, very practical, mostly. It's battle ready, so like with Synhalite and Onyx and even Obsidian, like, they're wearing clothes for a specific purpose. And then, you know, on Zoldas, their clothes are just whatever. I don't have an aesthetic for them yet, other than it's just, oh, this looks nice. I like this. They're gonna have like a mesh between kind of tribal looking, you know, robes or just basic clothes. Like, they're gonna have shorts, they're gonna have like cardigans and stuff like this. Trying to make an alien world is weird because like they wouldn't have the same kind of taste and aesthetic that Earth has, but since this universe basically has nothing to do with Earth, and you know what, it's my own story, I can have whatever kind of creative liberties I want. They can wear, you know, denim shorts and a fur coat, whatever, I can do what I want. They can have a dress made of wood. I don't know where that came from. Or like how Bloodstone has like a mini skirt and like a crop top. It's whatever I feel like, and I feel like I'm kind of going off on a big tangent because I didn't write very much for this script because I didn't know exactly what else to say about Emerald and Topaz, because I don't want to talk too much about the story and the comic to basically give everything away. But Emerald kind of sucks. She is old and she is tired and she has like a big disdain for a lot of people, not just the men. So when Jade asks her to take her to the Beast Tribe to see more of the world and stuff, Emerald is just kind of like, okay, we have to go deal with them. So she kind of sees some other tribes as even less than her. Basically, in my mind, there is kind of a color hierarchy, but not in the way that you would think. It's mostly like in her head, she is green and she is the elder. She's been around the longest, so she's like, green is the best, and things that are kind of close to green, like yellow and blue, those are okay too, but green is better, and I don't like most other colors, which is really dumb. Here they are, my grumpy old lady and her big buff beefy bodyguard. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and like my ramblings when I run out of, script. Be sure to give this video a like, share it with your friends, subscribe and ring the bell and all that. Consider supporting me on Patreon like all of these lovely people, Tamara Springberg, Tony Brady, and PokePoke18. As always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.